Alright folks, it is Matthew. We are back, and we're now going to do case 17 in Criminal Case World Edition. Thanks to Paula, Roberto, Nini, and Vandy for the reports. And our case this time is Horseback Mountain. Sheriff Matthew, we finally arrived in Mongolia, and time is of the essence. We've learned that Sombra is plotting Operation Darkness Descends. They're building a master satellite which could allow them to take control of all the other satellites in orbit. Not only do they have stolen launch codes, but they've also been smuggling satellite parts into Mongolia. We have no idea how advanced their project might be, but we do know that there's a secret facility hidden somewhere in the wilderness, and that's where we'll learn more about the satellite. Local sources have reported seeing suspicious activity around Mount Khan, so you'll go there and see what you can find out, while the others head to the local headquarters. But remember, Sheriff Matthew, Sombra have proved time and time again how elusive they can be. If they're hiding something, you can be sure that it won't be easy to find. Well, if anyone has an eye for finding what's hidden, it's Matthew. Let's check out Mount Khan. So you can see I'm already up over 30,000 energy. Genghis Khan statue. Oh boy. Torn photo. Wow, a lot of clues. Already up to 5th. Matthew, has that man been partly sliced in half? You've got to be kidding me. We're here to find Sombra's satellite factory, not to investigate another murder. What's that, Matthew? Right, there's a satellite badge on his coverall. Could this guy have been working on Sombra's satellite? That means the factory can't be far, Matthew, and I'm betting that solving this murder will lead us straight there. Quick, what else have we spotted? The victim's name tag reads Andrei Beloglazov. Well, that gives us an ID to work with. Let's get the body off to Angela stat. And nice catch, Matthew. That bloody saber you picked up must be our murder weapon. Gotta love the murder weapon already. You're right, the saber handle is covered in hair. Let's vacuum up a sample. And that napkin you picked up was just next to the victim's hand. Maybe it'll shed some light on where he came from. We'd better collect a sample of that substance. You also grabbed some torn pieces. Let's get cracking and put them back together. If the victim really did work for Sombra, then this means that we're still hot on their trail. It's time we put an end to their evil scheme, Matthew. Like I said earlier, gotta love the murder weapon being found immediately. So I'm going to start the autopsy right now. And I'm going to grab some stars. So sit tight. Okay, I got me 6 stars. I'm going to examine the dirty napkin. There we are. Unknown substance. Good going, Matthew. You've collected a sample of that substance on the napkin we found next to the victim. If Andre really was working for Sombra, figuring out what he did in his final hours might lead us straight to the satellite factory. We better put the substance under the microscope to see if it sheds any light on his movements just before he died. Alright. You can already see the matches. That's 4. Oops. One mistake, a Mongolian recipe. So what does the microscope report say about that substance from the victim's napkin, Matthew? The substance was a sauce containing traces of lamb, potatoes, carrots, and peppers, which are apparently all the ingredients needed for something called horhog stew. And it just so happens that it's the specialty offered by the only restaurant around here. Good thinking, Matthew. The victim must have dined at the restaurant before he ended up sliced and diced on Mount Khan. Let's head there and see what we can find. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. And even though it is officially my first time at the Mongolian restaurant, investigating it that is, let me see if I can get me a star. I don't think I will. Oh! Lucky find it all? No. Check this place out, Matthew. I've never been in a Mongolian tent before. I think they call them gurs. They're designed to be constructed and dismantled within a couple of hours and can be transported by yak or camel. Sometimes I wish my house was that easy to just pack up and move. Anyway, you just found the victim's business card, and it confirms he was a satellite engineer. There's no company name or anything, though. He must have been an independent contractor. Which is yet more proof that Andre may well have been working for Sombra. Their hidden factory can't be far, Matthew. And you're right, there's a faded message on the card, too. I'll grab your Justin kit so you can recover the missing info. And take a look at this tour sign-up sheet. It must be for people who want a guided visit of Mount Khan. And our victims sign up for all 6 places. Dang, Andre must have been really keen to go on this tour. I guess the only way we'll find out why is just by asking the tour guide, but there's no name. And ha! Look at this picture. It's so overexposed, I can't make out his face. Honestly, has this guy been taking photography lessons from Angela? Well, crappy photography skills are no match for you. I'm sure you can find the guide's ID in the database, Matthew. Well, I'm going to do the torn photo first before I go on. Oh, I know it. It's a Sal. And that's Archer on a yak. That guy in the photo you put back together, that's Jack. What the heck is he doing clowning around on a yak? And more importantly, what is he doing back with Asal? I didn't think those two had been in touch since she killed Nick Kringle. Honestly, is there anything that boy won't forgive? And you're right, this means Jack and Asal were at our crime scene. I know Jack wouldn't do anything behind the Bureau's back, Matthew, but who knows what he might let Asal get away with. We need to question Asal ASAP. Undercover belly dancer. Turn to murderer. What's going to be next? Hello, Asal. We see you've been keeping Jack busy. Funny how you always seem to pop up when a murder has just taken place. Are you guys still holding that against me? If Jack has forgiven me, I don't see why you can't. Yeah, you can't hold Asal's job against her. Jack, you do well to stay out of this. Just tell us what you're doing here, Asal. Carmen, don't be such a killjoy. Asal and I just enjoy each other's company. We don't have to explain anything to you. It's okay, Jack. If you must know, Matthew, I'm just out here because I wanted to take Jack horse riding. I thought it'd be good for us to spend some time together in the countryside. He's such a city boy, he can't even tell the difference between a horse and a yak. Of course I knew it was a yak. I just wanted to make you laugh, sweetie. Anyway, it's up to us what we do in our free time, Carmen. I'm sure Matthew understands that. Let's go, honey. Oh gosh, I can't believe Archer's turning on us. Perfect. That son of a gun Jack probably would have known the difference between a goldfish and a piranha. You vacuumed up a sample of that hair on the handle of our murder weapon, Matthew. Let's see what Lars makes of it. How long is this? 9 hours? Alright. And I'm going to grab some stars. I'll be right back. Sorry guys, my tablet ran low and I decided to do some energy. Get some more stars, and then my computer kept on giving me grief, like just now. What did that faded message on the victim's business card say, Matthew? If the message reads, Yelena, let's grab lunch together for old time's sake. Why does that name sound familiar, Matthew? Yelena Tereshkova. Oh, got it. I read it in your report about Siberia. Yelena's that Russian cosmonaut who was frustrated that she'd never been sent into space. I wonder what Yelena's doing in Mongolia, Matthew, and how she met our victim. We've got a lot to ask her. One moment, folks, while I air out this frustration on this stupid thing again. Okay, sorry folks, my computer was not being very cooperative, so now I'm on my laptop, plus it was getting late. So I had to do it here. Let's question Yelena Tereshkova. Miss Tereshkova, what are you doing here in Mongolia? I just come for holidays after Cosmos rejected me again. Okay, and how do you know a certain Andrei Belaglazov? We found his business card inviting you to lunch for old time's sake. Oh, Andre and I used to be colleagues. He worked in satellite division at Cosmos while I completed my cosmonaut training. While he won't be working on any more satellites, we found him murdered. Did Andre give you any indication of what he was doing here? Andre dead? That is a very big shame, Sheriff Matthew. But I did not ask what he was doing here. I was too busy explaining that I have not had a chance to go to space. 20 years. That is how long I have waited. I see. Well, I think we've got everything we need for the moment, Miss Tereshkova. Now let's examine the tour guide face. There we are. Alright. Got it. Batbayar. So the name of the guy whose tour the victim signed up for is Batbayar. That's it? There's no surname? Ah, mes amis. I see you have encountered one of the particularities of Mongolia. Let's keep this brief, DuPont. I had enough of your lengthy explanations on the train. It is indeed the case that Mongolians have traditionally been identified by their first name alone. Alas, this tradition is soon to come to an end, as the government... We've got it, DuPont. First names only. Matthew, let's go find out why the victim was so keen to be alone with this Batbayar. About his relationship. Batbayar, Sheriff Matthew is conducting an investigation into the murder of Andrei Beloglazov. We believe he participated in one of your... Andrei is dead? But this can't be true. Are you okay? You seem very distraught. Did you know the victim well? I met Andrei on a tour I was giving. He was so attentive, so curious about the history and culture of Mongolia. And he was also the first openly gay man I'd ever met. I see. So you were dating the victim? Yes, we became romantically involved. It just felt so right, you know? I never thought I'd find someone who made me feel the way Andrei did. He was my first love, and now he's dead. Well, still got some more hours to go. So for now, this is Matthew. See you then. Alright folks, it is Matthew. We are back. On Criminal Case on Facebook, Case 17, Horseback Mountain. Let's wrap up Chapter 1. I'm glad you're here, Matthew. I want to ask your opinion on something. Marina has been so down lately thanks to this business with her mother that I thought having her own Matryoshka doll might cheer her up. Look, what do you reckon? How come I'm the only one who got an angry doll? Everybody else got a cute one. Anyway, you better make sure Jack doesn't get his hands on it. So did you have any time left to take a look at our victim? Yes. As you no doubt noticed, the victim was sliced clean in half from the shoulder to the hip with a single-edged blade. Not only would such an injury have required a lot of force, it would have also necessitated an immense amount of skill and an in-depth knowledge of swordsmanship. So that means our killer knows sword fighting. Well, the killer might know how to handle a blade, but let's see how they handle a lengthy prison sentence once Matthew has put them behind bars. And the hair? Well, I say the end is nay for your killer thanks to the sample you sent me, Matthew. Lars, need I remind you that this murder might lead us straight to Sombra's hidden satellite facility? This is no time for puns. Sorry, Matthew, I just get a bit lonely here in the lab by myself sometimes. I'm really missing the triplets. Video calling is the closest I've got to actually seeing them for months now. Normally Jack comes by to cheer me up, but these days he seems distracted. Anyway, the hair on your murder weapon was of the equine variety. It's not that surprising, actually, given that horses are an integral part of Mongolian culture. It's often said that the country has more horses than people. So now we know our killer rides horses. Well, Matthew will be sure to unsaddle them before they can kill again. Sheriff Matthew, I hear you still haven't found Sombra's satellite facility, and you're no closer to stopping Operation Darkness Descends. Hang on a minute, Chief. We did find a dead guy, and we're pretty sure he was working on Sombra's satellite project. We just don't know if Sombra was also responsible for his demise. What we do know, however, is that we're looking for a killer who knows sword fighting and rides horses. And one of our suspects is none other than Asal. I'm not convinced she's just here for Jack. I wish he'd exercise some caution around her. He sees everything through rose-tinted glasses these days. He's not the only one, though. There's also Botbayar, who was apparently in a relationship with the victim and is devastated by his murder. None of this is of interest, Sheriff Matthew. The only thing I want to know is where Sombra have built their secret... Hey guys, guess who's the Bureau's resident genius? No, don't tell me. It's me. I discovered the location of Sombra's secret satellite factory. Elliot to the rescue. And we'll get Chapter 2 started after this. Alright folks, we're back. Let's start Chapter 2. Let's recap, Matthew. We know that the victim was working as an engineer at Sombra's secret satellite facility, which we still have yet to... Hey guys, guess who's the Bureau's resident genius? No, don't tell me. It's me. I discovered the location of the secret satellite factory. Wait, what? How on earth did you manage that? Matthew and I have had our noses to the grindstone trying to find that place, and we've come up with nothing. But while you guys are running around picking up clues, I was studying the infrared imaging of Mount Khan. And there's a huge structure hidden underneath the statue of Genghis Khan. That explains how we found the victim's body close to the statue. We need to head back to Mount Khan immediately, Matthew. There's not a second to lose. Are you sure about this, Elliot? I don't see an entrance anywhere. I'm sure. I just need to hack into the security system, and we'll be in. See? What did I tell you guys? Am I a genius or what? What the... Did that giant stone head actually just open up? I've got to admit, you've outdone yourself this time, Elliot. Come on, Matthew, this is just what we've been waiting for. Let's go in and scout the factory for clues. Quick! Excuse me. Okay, let's see. Star, toolbox. Ah! That's a clue. Apple. Reflective jacket. Dog. Aha! Satellite model. That's also a clue. Nice. Oh, it will be enough to get that 1 star. Cool. That's always nice. Cool. Whoa, take a look at this place, Matthew. How on earth did Sombra manage to keep something like this hidden? It's totally empty, though. There's not a person or a satellite in sight. I wonder if that means the satellite is finished, or if it just hasn't been started. Did you at least find something that might clue us in on Andre's murder? A toolbox? Well, if anyone can find a clue in there, it's you. But this is what could break the case wide open. You picked up a scale model of a satellite. We better dust it for prints. Stat! I'm gonna do everything right now since I have the first star done. Oh, hold on. Okay, now that's done. There we are. Good job, Matthew. You've uncovered the fingerprints on that satellite scale model. Let's get them to Lars. Okay, 12 hours. I shall get tomorrow morning. I will say, though, that the next a non-disclosure agreement. What did you find in that toolbox, Matthew? Some kind of paperwork? It seems to be a non-disclosure agreement drawn up by the victim for a tour of the satellite factory. And look, it was signed by Yelena, so she knew about the hidden factory. And she lied to us about not knowing what Andre was doing in Mongolia. That wannabe cosmonaut has got some explaining to do, Matthew. We need to talk to her stat. What she saw at the factory? The game is up, Miss Tereshkova. We know you visited the satellite factory under Mount Khan with the victim. Sheriff Matthew found the non-disclosure agreement you signed. I not want any trouble, Sheriff Matthew. I just not think it interesting to tell. Like I say before, I just come to Mongolia for peace after Cosmos rejection, and to ride the horses. You see, the horses do not care that I am failed cosmonaut. They do not judge. Not like Andre. He insisted on showing off by taking you to his factory. And did you see a satellite there? Were they in the process of building one? I don't know. Andre will not show me all the rooms, so I not even see point of visit. Anyway, satellites are not interesting to me. You cannot go to space in a satellite, and that is all I want, to go to space. I'll let the fingerprints run their courses, run its course, so for now this is Matthew, see you then. Alright folks, we're back. Let's get the results of the fingerprints. Hey guys, this mini satellite you sent me is rad. I might keep it to show to the triplets when I next see them. They're totally into space right now. Anyway, you'll never guess who the fingerprints on the model belong to. That's why we sent it to you, Lars, so we didn't have to guess. Well, the fingerprints belong to Asal. I just knew it, Matthew. I knew Asal was up to something. I was sure she didn't come all this way for Jack. And you're right, she did mention that she goes horse riding, just like her killer. We need to ask Asal why she didn't tell us about the satellite factory, now. About the secret satellite factory? We found your prints on a satellite model under Mount Khan, Asal. Why didn't you tell us you knew where Sombra's factory was? It's not like I lied. I was just economical with the truth. Anyway, I work for Mossad, not the Bureau, Sheriff Matthew. Mossad picked up on a shipment of unusual components to the area. The kind of components you wouldn't expect to see out here. So they sent me here to investigate. And did your investigation happen to involve another murder? It wouldn't be the first time you've assassinated someone under the Bureau's nose. Please, Sheriff Matthew, I may be highly trained in sword fighting, but I prefer a more modern approach to assassination. Anyway, the factory was deserted, as I'm sure you saw. You know what, Asal? You might have Jack wrapped around your little finger, but we know better and we will be keeping an eye on you. We need to recap, Matthew. We've got a dead satellite engineer on our hands and a secret Sombra factory hidden under Mount Khan. We know that both Asal and Yelena visited the factory, and Asal hardly has a spotless record when it comes to killing people. Could Mossad have ordered another hit? I'm also worried that there's no trace of the satellite. The satellite Sombra are supposed to be building. Either they haven't started yet, or the project is further along than I'd like to consider. We need more leads, and quick. You're right, Matthew. The only place around here where people can mingle is the restaurant. Who knows who else the victim might have met there? Let's go back, quick. The Mongolian grill now. Okay. Locked case. Broken pieces, Saddle. Wooden flute. All under 5 seconds. Good for me. Exactly at 5 seconds. No lucky find. Tell me you picked up something good, Matthew. We desperately need to solve this murder so we can figure out how advanced Sombra's plans are. A locked case? Well, that's definitely suspicious. You'd better unlock it ASAP. And this horse saddle has the initials AB on it. It must have belonged to our victim. You're right, there's a sweaty handprint on the saddle. I'll let you do the honors and collect a sample. And those broken pieces won't be much use until you've put them back together. Let's get cracking, Matthew. Gonna get some stars, I'll be back. Alright, I got myself up to 20 stars. Let's examine the locked case. Just missed out on the 9. It's a gun. Whoa, how did a gun like that end up in a restaurant in the middle of Mongolia? I know exactly who can help us out. Help us find out. Jonah, let's send the gun to him. Okay, 12 hours. I'll get it during my 10 o'clock news. Now let's examine the saddle. I am planning to do another case in Elite mode, and I will say that it will be in Grimsboro. Well, which one, you ask? As I collect sweat from this thing, this investigation. Well, that's for me to know and you to find out. Good job collecting that sweat from the victim's horse saddle, Matthew. Let's stick it under the microscope. Yeah, let's. Bet it belongs to a Sal. I just hope Archer doesn't pop up. There we are. I won't get 9. Woman. Oh, that doesn't give us much. What do the microscope reports say about the sweat you found on the victim's horse saddle, Matthew? So the DNA was female. And we're in luck. There's a match in the database. The DNA belongs to a 53-year-old local horse breeder called Seetsig. Good point, Matthew. That means Seetsig rides horses, like our killer. And she was obviously in contact with the victim. We'd better question her. about our relationship with the victim? What do you people want? If it's riding lessons you're after, come back tomorrow. Sheriff Matthews here to ask you about the murder of Andrei Balaglazov. We found your handprint on Andrei's saddle. Murder? That explains why Andrei did not show up for his lesson this morning. So, did you know the victim well? Did he happen to mention being threatened by someone or feeling in danger? A lot of foreigners come through these parts. I don't ask them what they're doing here. Now be off with you. I need to sharpen my sword. A woman has to be able to defend herself around these parts. Well, she's in the running now. Still don't know anything yet about the third clue. A mask. Darn, that mask you put back together gives me the heebie-jeebies, Matthew. And you're right, there's blood on the mask. We'd better see what Lars makes of this, quick. Six hours. Gonna get the remaining stars. I'll see you guys for that. Alright folks, it is Matthew. We are back. Let's get the results of the Mongolian mask. Holy jeez. Arg! Lars Douglas, take that mask off right now. That's a piece of evidence you're wearing. Sorry, Carmen. It's pretty cool though, huh? The blood on it was your victim's, but I was intrigued by the mask itself, so I called... Tell me you didn't. We meet again, mes chers amis. Behold, you see before you a true Mongolian masterpiece. This work of art is a traditional dance mask of huge cultural significance, but sadly, as with everything of cultural importance, it is now often sold as a tourist gimmick. The mask depicts one of the servants of the god of war, known as Carrier of the Sword. And as your victim was killed with a saber, I put it to you that this mask must belong to the killer. Thanks for pointing out the obvious, Dupont. It's got the victim's blood on it. Lars, is there anything else you can tell us? Actually, there is. I found traces of salty tea on the mask. It's an acquired taste, but very popular locally. So now we know the killer drinks salty tea. Well, they'd better enjoy it while they can, Matthew. And I'm going to go ahead and speed this up. Nice to see you, Jonah. I knew this would be a job for you. What have you got on the gun Matthew sent you? Well, the gun you found in the restaurant is an MP443 Grok. It's standard issue for the Russian Domestic Security and Foreign Intelligence Service, the MGB. I studied the handle, and judging by the size of the worn area, I'd say it belongs to a female agent. Just because women tend to have smaller hands? That's a bit sexist, even for you, Jonah, but okay. Just calling it as I see it. Also, the wear and tear on the barrel suggests heavy usage. The owner is probably trigger-happy. A trigger-happy female MGB agent. That sounds familiar, Matthew. Right, you met that MGB agent, Anya Ivanova, in Mexico. Wasn't she furious that you uncovered the mole in Cosmos before she did? I'm sure she'll be glad to see you, Matthew. Let's go question Anya. What she's doing in Mongolia. Miss Ivanova, Mongolia seems like an unusual choice of location for an MGB agent. Care to explain what you're doing here? Not that it's any of your business, but the MGB sent me out here. Apparently they weren't happy with the way I handled things in Moscow. And it's all Sheriff Matthews' fault. They showed me up by discovering that Darya Chernova had been leaking Cosmos' classified information to Sombra. And now I'm stuck in Mongolia, where there's nothing but yaks and horses to spy on. I love horse riding as much as the next girl, but I want to be where the action is. I didn't spend years learning the deadly art of sword fighting just to be sent to the Mongolian countryside. How convenient you should mention sword fighting, since we got a victim who was sliced in two with a saber. A lot of people know how to handle a sword. Now, if you'll excuse me, Sheriff Matthew, there's a suspicious-looking yak that I need to keep an eye on.
Your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis, serious, sometimes fatal infections, and cancers.
Sheriff Matthew, are you telling me that two of your suspects know the whereabouts of Sombra's satellite factory? Well, the important thing is that we found it, and anyway, I'm more worried about the appearance of Anya. I'm not buying her lies about the MGB sending her here. We could really do without having two spies to deal with, Matthew. It can only end in... Matthew, quick, I need your help. It's Asal and Anya. Jack, Matthew has bigger things to deal with than your girlfriend problems. No, you don't understand. They're at the satellite factory, threatening to shoot each other. Oh boy. Well, we better uncover this. Well, we better take care of this debacle in Chapter 3, so see you for that. Alright folks, it is Matthew. We are back. Playing Criminal Case on Facebook, Horseback Mountain, Case 17 in the World Edition. Let's go to Chapter 3. Sheriff Matthew, are you telling me that two of your suspects know the whereabouts of Sombra's satellite factory? Well, the important thing is that we found it. And anyway, I'm more worried about the appearance of Anya. I'm not buying her lies about the MGB sending her here. We could really do without having two spies to deal... Matthew, quick, I need your help. It's Asal and Anya. Jack, Matthew has bigger things to deal with than your girlfriend problems. No, you don't understand. They're at the satellite factory, threatening to shoot each other. Please come, Matthew. I couldn't stand to see Asal get hurt. We need to go, now. Agent Ivanova, how many times do I have to tell you? We're both on the same side. Now put your gun down. I don't trust you, and this is my crime scene now, so back off. Both of you, put your guns down right now. The only person in charge of this crime scene is Sheriff Matthew. Jack, get Asal out of here. I will not have your girlfriend jeopardizing our investigation. If she knows what's good for her, she'll stay out of Sheriff Matthew's way.
Yes, that's right.
And Miss Ivanova, you have a lot of explaining to do. Sheriff Matthew will interrogate you in a moment. This is beyond belief, Matthew. How many more of our suspects have failed to mention they know the location of the factory? I agree. We need to take another look around the factory and see if anyone else has been snooping around.
She went to class. She was a graduate student in the sociology department. Dorothy was going for her master's. You didn't speak with her? No, with patients until 4. On Fridays, Dorothy went to the library to work on her thesis.
I don't think that it's Asal because she was already convicted, but well, she was already found guilty, but the case was thrown out. Nick Kringle's murder, case 15.
Anybody see you come in?
Surprisingly enough.
Someone unpacked this. I just picked up our mail and came straight upstairs.
And your wife wasn't here.
Look, I assumed she was at the library when she didn't return home by 7:30. I got this, sir.
That's from the precinct.
I see the calculator.
An hour later.
Things okay with you, Mrs. Graham?
Things were just fine.
You're a psychologist.
Private practice.
Any of your patients you think might be capable of something like this?
Just basic family therapy.
8.
Okay. We'll call you with any developments or questions we might have.
My wife.
You grasped in torn pieces? We don't have time for puzzles. You'd better take them back together. And you're right, those are the victim's initials on that suitcase. I wonder if he was planning on leaving Mongolia. Do you think that means the satellite project is complete, or that Andre was trying to run away? Either could have been a good enough reason for Sombra to kill him. There's only one way to find out. Let's get rummaging through the suitcase.
Anybody with him? Excuse me.
And I'm going to grab some more stars. I'll be right back.
It wasn't like that. We were just listening.
Okay, I got me some stars up to 18. I'm going to examine the torn paper first.
That lady's car. Ever seen this? We've seen it around, but never met.
So what happened?
We started messing with it. My friend Alex got drunk and...
Just got the 9 in time.
But
Those pieces you found are a plane ticket for a flight from Mongolia to Moscow, and it's in Andrei's name, so he was definitely planning to leave. And look, there's a message written on the ticket. It says, "Please don't leave me, I love you." I'm guessing the person begging him to stay must be Batbayar. I wonder how that conversation went. Only one way to find out. Let's ask Batbayar.
So what do you think of our struggling artist?
Nothing on his sheet.
It's a long way from popping trunks to popping citizens.
They didn't touch the other one.
About the victim's plans to leave.
Mrs. Graham's students see if we can find that dead thief.
Batbayar, Sheriff Matthew found Andrei's plane ticket. All is not well in paradise. Andrei meant the world to me. We did everything together. He always came to watch me practice my sword fighting, and then he'd bring me a steaming cup of salty tea afterwards.
You notice many of the guys had crushes on him?
I thought we'd be together forever. But I was just a fling to him. He was planning to leave and never come back. Now it's only me and my horse. Well, Sheriff Matthew will find out if Andrei ended up split in two because he split up with you. Now he's in the running. Examine the suitcase.
You, out of the pool. What's up? You a Mets fan? Of the season. You know Dorothy Graham?
Had nothing to do with that.
Aha! Cowboy shirt. Whoa, that shirt in Andrei's suitcase is covered in blood. We better send this shirt to Lars, now.
Look, I don't know what you're talking about.
4 kids from the neighborhood identified you getting into
9 hours, but I am planning to speed this up. And let's question Anya Ivanova. Miss Ivanova, just what are you doing at Sombra's satellite factory? How did you even know where to find it? I knew you were lying to us.
I never sold her any.
Of course I'm here to spy on Sombra. I'm one of the MGB's top agents. They wouldn't send me here to spy on yaks. We'd had our eye on the victim for a while. It's not every day that a highly qualified satellite engineer mysteriously moves to Mongolia for work. So the MGB sent me here to tell him. That must mean you witnessed the murder. Well, not exactly. I was, getting a cup of salty tea when it happened. I only stepped away for a minute. Do you really expect us to believe you'd flunk an assignment so stupidly? Are you questioning my ability, Sheriff Matthew? You're just jealous. The Bureau will be lucky to have an agent like me. Well, you'll be out of luck as Sheriff Matthew discovers that your abilities include murdering Sombra engineers.
Better hope your waiter
Now Anya Ivanova's in there, in the running. Alright, I'm going to get the remaining stars. I'll be right back. Alright, I got the rest of the stars. I'm going to speed this up right now.
I don't know, sometimes she came to him for counseling.
I'm relieved to see you're not wearing our lab sample this time, Lars. Did you find out who the blood on the victim's shirt belonged to? Funnily enough, it's not a who but a what. The blood on the shirt is not human. It's horse blood. How on earth could Andrei's shirt have ended up covered in horse blood, Matthew? You're right. I'm betting there's one person who can explain it. Tsitsi. Let's question her again, Matthew.
If he doesn't read, you read it to him. Excuse me?
About the victim's bloody shirt.
Please stand up. My lawyer's gonna have a field.
What do you want now? Can't you see I'm busy enjoying a cup of salty tea? Sheriff Matthew's here to ask if you know how one of Andrei's shirts ended up with horse blood all over it.
My name's Nick.
I sure do. I lent that idiot one of my most prized horses, a purebred Mongol stallion. I've got a feeling this story doesn't end well. I told that fool to exercise caution about where he went riding, but of course Andrei thought he knew better. He took the horse up Mount Khan, but he wasn't experienced enough to guide it back down. He left my stallion there to suffer and die. Well, you better hope Sheriff Matthew doesn't find out you left Andrei to die on Mount Khan in revenge.
It's designed to save your life. It gets talked about.
Now she's in the running. Sheriff Matthew, you still have no idea who killed Andrei, and there's no sign of the satellite Sombra is allegedly building. The Bureau is working to keep the location of the factory under wraps, but if the MGB and Mossad already know about it, then you can be sure that there will be other foreign agents crawling all over it in no time. If we want to stop Operation Darkness Descends, you must crack this investigation ASAP. You need to go back to Mount Khan before anyone can jeopardize our investigation by taking any remaining clues. Now!
So I signed up for Experian. They have real live credit experts I can talk to. They help educate me on how debt affected my FICO score, so I can finally start managing my credit.
Okay, let's investigate the factory entry.
I'm both healing nicely.
Get serious about your credit. Get Experian. Go to Experian.com and start your credit tracker trial membership today. Show me what makes each of us a unique individual. Help individualize our cancer treatment. Now, through advanced genomic testing, we may be able to pinpoint and diagnose what makes your cancer different, which can reveal precise treatment options that were not considered previously. With this important breakthrough at the intersection of science
You have the live chat on right now.
Precision cancer treatment. The evolution of cancer care is here at Cancer Treatment Centers of America. Call or
Buddha
visit
statue.
cancercenter.com to learn more about precision cancer treatment.
Meet Shelley. She can make a Labrador look like, well, either one. And she's a marketer. All it took was constant contact. Thanks to Shelley's emails, all her clients have wagging tails. Try it free at ConstantContact.com.
Funerals are a very difficult thing for a family to go through. Besides the sorrow, loved ones are left with the stress and the high cost of arranging a funeral. That's why Funeral Advantage was formed, to help protect your family from financial hardship. It pays your loved ones up to $20,000 cash immediately for a funeral and any other expenses.
Okay.
It was easy. There were no
Alright, 100,000 more.
The average funeral can easily
Is it
cost
enough?
$9,000
It is
or more,
not.
but the most government benefits will pay your family is only $255, leaving your loved ones to pay the balance.
You want to look through a bush, Matthew? You know what? I'm not even going to question your decisions. There's no time. And that hand you found is the only one that's broken. All the other statues are holding a saber in that hand. You think the killer could have gotten the murder weapon from that broken statue? Then this could be just the break we need. You better collect a sample of those flakes on the statue hand, quick!
I'm better than Annie Oakley, and I got you right in my sight. Sundance TV celebrates Quentin Tarantino.
Alright, let's examine the bush.
For risk-takers, perfectionists, and passionate storytellers. Extraordinary movies with a lasting legacy.
See the thing inside. Perfect. A vacuum mug. How did this vacuum mug end up in that bush, Matthew? You're right, something doesn't quite make sense. Let's send the mug to Lars.
I'm due in front of the grand jury, Mr. Billings. What's the word?
How long? 9 hours.
Wasn't the victim of a murder. She killed herself.
And statue hand?
This is Mrs. Graham's suicide note, along with an old psychiatric report. Details of prior attempt when she was in college.
Dorothy Hungerson.
Where did this happen?
In my home.
And you didn't call the police?
I'm a trained therapist.
Alright.
I thought Dorothy's suicide would be too painful for Perry and my granddaughter to bear.
So you put her body...
You've collected a sample of those flakes on the statue hand from the crime scene. Quick, let's get it to Lars.
From marriage. When she realized I knew about her affair, she became hysterical. I went upstairs to check on her. That's when I found her. In the bathroom. She'd used my bathroom tie to do it.
15 hours. I'll let these two run their courses, and I'll see you for that. Alright, folks, we're back. Not going to waste any time. Let's get the vacuum mug. Guys, I got a wonderful joke for you. Knock, knock. I refuse to take part in this nonsense, Lars. I'll do both parts by myself, then. Knock, knock. Who's there? Aeneas? Aeneas who? Aeneas cup of tea, salt. A salty tea. Oh gosh, I miss Jack. I assume you found traces of salty tea on the vacuum mug then? Right, so it definitely belonged to your killer. But guess what? I also found saliva on the rim of the mug. I only managed to extract a partial DNA sample, but I can tell you that your killer has brown eyes. Well, Matthew, you'll have this brown-eyed killer in handcuffs in no time.
Most to you with guaranteed acceptance life insurance. Call us today at 1-800-657-0153. That's 1-800-657-0153.
Unknown flakes now?
657-0153.
Come on, Lars, what can you tell us about the flakes Matthew found on the statue hand? Well, my results will give you a hand in solving your investigation. Get it? Give you a hand? Lars, my hand will be in your face if you don't tell us what you found. Fine, the flakes were skin cells. They were pretty badly damaged, but I managed to isolate the chromosomes. And I can confirm that your killer is a woman. So we're looking for a female killer, Matthew. Well, you'll soon have them in an orange jumpsuit. Matthew, you've collected everything you need to arrest Andrei Balaglazov's killer. Let's do this.
This is Tecfidera. Tecfidera is not an injection.
Okay, it's not the lover.
Relapsing MS that has the power to cut relapses in half.
It's not a Sal.
Imagine what you could do with
It's not
fewer
Yelena.
relapses.
It's definitely not Papayar.
Tecfidera may cause serious side effects, such as allergic
It's not Anna
reactions,
Ivanova.
chemo, which is
It's
a
the
rare
horse breeder.
infection that usually leads to death or severe disability
Tsitsi.
and decreases in your white blood cells. The most common side effects are flushing and stomach problems. Tell your doctor about any low white blood cell counts, infections, any other medical conditions, or if you're pregnant or planning to
Tsitsi,
become
Sheriff Matthews arresting you for the murder of Andrei Balaglazov.
more about the most prescribed
I've got better things to be than be killing people. I've got better things to be doing than killing people, Sheriff Matthew. The horses don't look after themselves, you know. Is that why you sliced Andrei in two in a fashion that only someone who knows sword fighting could have done? Because you left your horse to die? Don't be ridiculous. Besides, sword fighting is practically a national pastime here. And what about the fact that Sheriff Matthew found traces of your salty tea on the mask you wore when you killed Andrei? Those masks can be bought by tourists anywhere, and plenty of people enjoy a cup of salty tea. I certainly don't. Cut it out, Tsitsi. We found your DNA on the hand which you broke off the statue at the crime scene. Darn it, I spent so long out of the game that I've gotten sloppy. I never would have made such mistakes before. What do you mean before? This isn't the first murder you've committed? Of course not. At my peak, I was one of the world's greatest hit women. My only rule was no women, children, or horses. What the heck? You were a hit woman? I still am. This was going to be my last job before I retired to focus on running the family stables. When Sombra asked me to carry out a hit on Andrei in order to tie up loose ends, I stupidly agreed. I should have known when to stop. It was Sombra who had Andrei killed, but he was working for them. If they considered him a loose end, his job must have been complete. Does that mean the satellite has been finished? I didn't mean to let that slip. Gosh darn it, I'll say no more. Well, you can refuse to talk, but you're still under arrest. Tsitsi, you stand accused of murdering Andrei Balaglazov by cutting him in half? You obviously didn't cut the guy a break. How do you plead? Guilty, Your Honor, but you won't get another word out of me. I've already said too much. Very well then, if you'd agree to supply us with information about Sombra, I might have been lenient. But as it is, the International Court hereby sentences you to 30 years in prison. If only I'd retired after my last job, I could have lived happily ever after with my horses. But no, the temptation of one final adventure got the better of me. Sheriff Matthew, you put Tsitsi behind bars, but now I have an even more pressing issue at hand. If Sombra killed Andrei to tie up loose ends, then Operation Darkness Descends must be more advanced than we previously thought. We have to assume the satellite has already been built, which means Sombra is one step ahead of us, yet again. We have no choice but to try and find out exactly where they've taken it, and quickly. If Sombra succeeds in launching that satellite, the world's electronic infrastructure will be compromised. The world is counting on you, Sheriff Matthew. You need to find that satellite.
She was just doing her job. I was stupid.
No, you were furious. And you spent 7 years in that cell thinking about how that bitch screwed you.
I haven't seen her since I got out.
So you took out 5 other girls instead.
Asal doesn't have salt, doesn't like salty tea or brown eyes.
Tortured her for 2 days.
Elena Tereshkova cleared from the beginning.
Before you went into prison.
Batbayar almost made the cut.
Making mild-mannered punks like you and the animals.
And Anya Ivanova almost made the cut too. But it was Tsitsi, the horse breeder. I'll see you guys for your additional investigation. Alright folks, we're back. Let's go to Darkness Descends 5. Sheriff Matthew, look sharp. You put Andrei Balaglazov's killer behind bars, but there's no time to rest on our laurels. Everything points to Sombra's satellite already having been built, and that means they could put Operation Darkness Descends in motion at any time. It's imperative we figure out exactly where the satellite has gone so we can prevent Sombra from launching it. And where better to look for clues than the satellite factory? Let's go, Matthew. Wait, Matthew. Asal is waiting to talk to you in the interrogation room. I suggest you take Jack with you. Anything to stop him hanging around the office like a lovesick puppy. We're counting on you, Matthew. If anyone can put a stop to Sombra's plans, it's you.
Do she what?
Okay, let's investigate the factory.
She told me to run in and give this to you. And when you weren't here, I wanted to tell her. And she was gone. How could she...
I'm gonna try something here, folks, and show you how good I can be.
I don't know, honey, but find her. It's gonna be okay.
I may have the chat enabled, but that's okay.
Can I see what's in the envelope?
Locked safe. Oh, not as good as I thought I would do.
What is it?
It's a notarized transfer of parental rights. Vivian made me Calvin's legal guardian.
If Sombra really have already built that satellite, they can launch it at any time, Matthew. So if you think there's a clue inside the safe, I say unlock it. Okay, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to unlock the safe, and then I'm going to ask Asal what she wants.
I wanted to do something good.
Okay. MB3, yep. Perfect.
Criminal justice system, sexually based investigations.
That safe you picked up contains Cosmore's swipe cards. But this factory belongs to Sombra. What would a bunch of Cosmore swipe cards be doing here? This sure makes Cosmores look suspicious, Matthew. Maybe we were right to wonder if there's someone on the inside who's helping Sombra. I doubt Natasha will be of any help, though. She's made it clear she wants nothing more to do with us. But Elliot will tell us everything we need to know about these swipe cards. You're right. Let's send the safe to him. That's 9 hours.
Or anyone else for that matter, okay?
Alright. Let's ask Asal what she wants. Matthew, I know you're hung up on the whole Asal killing someone thing, but I can vouch for her. She's trustworthy. Let's just listen to what she has to say.
Then you're going to bed.
Thanks for agreeing to see me, Sheriff Matthew. I know you don't trust me, but I want you to know that I care about Jack, and I never do anything to endanger him. Ah, you're making me blush, honey bun. Anyway, in the spirit of sharing leads, I think you should keep an eye on Anya. I get the impression she's a bit unhinged. I saw her at the restaurant just now, staring at her plate of noodles and mumbling angrily to herself. I'm sure she was up to something. I'd investigate her myself, but Mossad has reassigned me to another mission and I'm leaving tonight. So here's enough money to fund your investigation. Don't worry, Poochie Pie, we'll figure out what Anya's up to, and I'll see you tonight for our goodbye date. Now come on, Matthew, let's head to the restaurant.
She won't go to bed. Let's go. I'm gonna have to kill him.
Go. Good night. When did you get a kid? Oh, when his mother abandoned him. Trying to track down the father.
Alright?
So, where's you going?
I need a weensy favor. I can't take this to the FBI lab. So can you run that rape kit for me as a Jane Doe?
Who's a victim?
Okay. Where do we see our clue? Beef noodles, huh? Not the best score, but hey, it's okay. No one's perfect. Come on, Matthew. I know Asal said Anya was talking to her food, but surely you don't seriously think she dropped something in that bowl of beef noodles? Well, as you picked the bowl up, it's only natural you should have the pleasure of searching through it. Great, thanks a lot, Jack. Beef noodles now. Oh, I can see it. Roll of film, microfilm. What the heck is that thing you found in the beef noodles, Matthew? Oh, it's a microfilm? Ha! See, I knew Asal was onto something. We'd better send it to the whiz kid to see what's on it. And that's 6 hours also. I'm going to get both after the Supercross today from San Diego. So hopefully this will shed some light. So for now, this is Matthew. See you then. Excuse me. Alright folks, we're back. Let's get the results of the microfilm from Elliot. This microfilm you sent me is pretty nifty, Matthew. Who knew something so old-fashioned could be cool? But what's even cooler is that the microfilm contains a message from the MGB. The MGB? So it was Anya who threw the microfilm in her noodles. What does it say? The microfilm reads, Agent Ivanova, you are ordered to return to Moscow at once. This mission is unauthorized and will result in your immediate dismissal should you ignore this message. So Anya's on an unauthorized mission. We've got a rogue MGB agent on our hands, Matthew. Let's go interrogate her. Let's question her about the message. Why don't you tell us what you're really doing in Mongolia, Miss Ivanova? Because it seems like the MGB is just as clueless as we are. Oh, you found the microfilm, Sheriff Matthew. Well, so what? I admit it, the MGB didn't send me out here. They keep telling me to drop my investigation into Sombra, but I refuse to let Sheriff Matthew upstage me once more. If I bring Sombra down, it'll make up for that mishap in Moscow. I'll do anything to be taken seriously again. Well, you better stay out of Sheriff Matthew's way, because right now all you're doing is stopping us from catching Sombra. Your threats don't scare me, Sheriff Matthew. Now take this and leave me alone. I've got an international terrorist organization to thwart. Mongolian hat.
You'll play. You have a lot of followers. You should take them somewhere.
And let's go ahead and speed this up. This cost me 3. Guys, these swipe cards you found in Sombra's factory aren't from Cosmos after all. Wait, what? They're counterfeit Cosmos cards? Exactly. I studied the algorithm on them, and it's fake. Sombra must be planning on disguising themselves as Cosmos employees and using the cards to access one of the Cosmos launch sites. The question is which one? It's not like there's only one Cosmos launch site. We don't have time to check them all. We need to figure out which launch site they're transporting the satellite to, and fast, Matthew. No kidding. If Sombra sends that thing into orbit, it won't be long before they control everything. They could change our entire existence with the flick of a switch. You're right, Matthew. If there's anyone who might be able to help us, it's Yelena. Let's talk to her quick.
Find anything?
No, we searched the building, top to bottom.
No Lizzie, and no telling where Greg's ski mask brand partner has her.
What she knows about Cosmos' launch sites?
He said the moment that he stopped communicating with his partner, Lizzie would be dead.
Excuse me. Miss Tereshkova, we have intel concerning the potential breach of a Cosmos launch site. We know Andrei Balaglazov didn't show you the satellite, but do you have any idea where he might have sent it? Now you mention it, Sheriff Matthew. I overhear Andrei arguing with someone about shipment in front of Mount Khan one time. I not think it interesting then. If it is not spaceship, I do not care, you know. Anyway, I tell you what, Sheriff Matthew, I invite you for burger, so I can tell you more about how long I'm waiting to go to space. Thank you very much. Are you thinking what I'm thinking, Matthew? If Andrei was discussing a shipment at Mount Khan, we need to head there ASAP.
So why are you afraid? Somebody smashed your iPad and monkey murder, isn't it? What do you think? I like having to do this? I think you have no intention of telling us where Lizzie is. All you want was revenge. I do. The NYPD.
Okay.
That's why you've been leading us around.
Let's see. Oh, I see it.
That's why you tortured that girl who was
Torn paper.
Isn't it?
I just want someone to pay attention. Take care of Jason.
You got a sick way of shooting.
Eagle chicken leg.
So why are you crying?
Okay. This torn paper could be just the clue we've been waiting for, Matthew. You better piece it back together on the double.
She's still alive, isn't she? Where is she?
Looks like I'm gonna have to wait again.
Only thing colder than this case is you making us start from scratch. We find Jason Angles, we find Lizzie Harmon.
Now, can you fully profile all known sex offenders living in Jason's neighborhood?
Alright.
Alright, the rest of us will track down and read.
Bingo, Matthew. This is clearly a delivery slip for the shipment of a satellite. The bad news is that it provides proves the satellite has definitely been built. But the good news is now we know the satellite is heading for the Cosmos launch site in Kazakhstan. The slip has obviously been forged to look like it's from Cosmos, so Sombra can sneak the satellite into the site. Matthew, I don't care if Natasha trusts us or not. We need to inform her. Only she can stop this now. Gosh darn it, Matthew. Natasha's not answering. But we can't just sit by and wait for Sombra to launch the satellite. Right, Elliot might be able to help us. Let's talk to him, quick. Nope. Looks like I'll be talking to Elliot. Now's your time to shine, kiddo. Matthew's figured out that Sombra are sending their satellite to Kazakhstan. Uh-oh, that doesn't bode well. Just tell me what you need me to do. Natasha isn't answering her phone, and we can't exactly just waltz into a top-security Cosmos launch site in order then to stop everything. We're going to need high-level clearance to give us any chance of preventing the launch. Can you help us? Are you forgetting who you're talking to, Matthew? Just give me 1 hour and you'll have your clearance. I'm going to do what I do best. Hack into Cosmos' security systems.
Captain, that's the last one.
And the stories still hold up.
Dead on to what they told me.
Sheriff Matthew, Sombra have already built their satellite and it's on its way to Kazakhstan.
Clemens, is that simple?
I still haven't been able to reach Natasha to let her know that Cosmos' facilities have been infiltrated by Sombra, but no matter. Elliot has managed to override Cosmos' security systems to give you clearance, so nobody will stop you from entering the launch site. If we're going to prevent this launch and stop Operation Darkness Descends, it's now or never, Sheriff Matthew. So put your game face on and get ready, because you're leaving for Kazakhstan immediately.
Witnesses agree Jason was shoved into a car by some guy.
What if the ticket wasn't a guy? was a woman? Something Mindy Sherman said, that she saw a Mrs. Penner out there that morning. There was no Mrs. Penner.
Okay.
I haven't come across that name in any of the reports I've seen.
No Mrs. Penner on the list of witnesses brought in for questioning. Miss Gravy knows who she is. I used to babysit Mrs. Penner's kid, Danny.
Okay, case is not open yet, and I'll see you guys for when I do another case in Elite Mode. For now, this is Matthew. Thanks for watching.
Jason was kidnapped.